When we discovered oil, presence of oil on our soil in Zambia, an important oil company from America came to join us. They began doing wonderful things there, investing, getting ready to start exploiting our oil resources. You know what happened? They appointed somebody called a resident director in Zambia.
To manage the oil.
To manage the oil, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And then one day he came to me, Mr. President, can I invite you, come and see what we are doing by way of exploiting oil in your own country? I said, most welcome. So I put him on my plane, the fighter, the government aeroplane. We went to a certain district. We found the military choppers there. We got into those choppers. We went to this place where the exploitation was taking place. Now, Harry, this was wonderful, really incredible. Big machines here and all over. A real development. And I was saying, thank God, thank God. Now copper and oil now will have power, real power.
Alecto Minerals is an Africa-focused gold and base metal exploration and development company, but its aim is to become a gold producer in the near to mid-term. Well, it's one step closer to achieving that goal with the announcement of the acquisition of the Matala and Dunroban gold mines in Zambia. And they're being purchased from C3W Limited and CNG Trust. Mark Jones is the Chief Executive of Alecto Minerals. So, Mark, how familiar were you with these gold mines prior to making an offer? Have you been coveting them for a while?
You know, it's a really good question. Zambia as a place, we've always coveted. It's one of the three most stable democracies in Africa. And it's not known as a gold province. So I think most people are aware that there has been fairly limited gold opportunity beyond these two. And the acquisition of these is clearly a big aspect of our strategy, and we're very, very pleased to be able to pull it off.
You see, I always worry that when I read that a mine or mines are being described as historic, it means exhausted. So talk to me about the resource that's there. Is it exhausted? I hope not.
No, absolutely not. We're going to be acquiring the two mines with an aggregate 760,000 ounces of gold, and that's JORC code, in measured, indicated and inferred. It's a very advanced project, and it's an average grade of 2.3 grams a ton. So you're quite right, they are historic mines, but they were small mines, and they were mined initially before and during the Second World War, and most recently around the early part of 2001 to 2003. At that point in time, the gold price, of course, was very different. So they were looking only at a heap leach at one of the properties. So fairly small play. The very, very different gold price now, as much as it's come off significantly. The opportunity now to move this ahead in a structured and effective fashion is there, and that's why we're so excited.
Okay, well, the historic mines aside, does this purchase bring any more exploration targets within it? Absolutely.
There are two well-known areas that have been drilled, so they're fairly advanced, called Chosa and Shadrick. The great thing about these targets is that initially they'll be oxide plays that'll augment the future potential for the phase one mine as we envisage it. And it's free digging, so no drilling and blasting. You couldn't want the better. Beyond that, there are a number of targets that have yet to be drilled, some historic old workings, thereby indicating gold opportunity. And there are much bigger targets being generated by airborne surveys that have had no work done to them. But that won't be our key focus because the market doesn't want to hear more exploration stories, sadly, at this point in time. So we'll concentrate on the development side and use the cash to explore from the cash that comes in from the effective the mining opportunity that we intend to take up.
So did you pay a fair price for this mining opportunity?
We believe so. One of the great things about this bad market is that as much as we battle to get full value for what we believe we have in the market, when we acquire something, they end up being equally low price. More than $20 million have been spent on these projects to date. And the price we're paying for it is just a fraction of that. In fact, it's around about $4 per ounce. And considering that's measured, indicated, and inferred, this is unheard of if you just go back 5 or 6 years. Much cheaper than if we would ever had to have drilled it. So no. This is a good price. It's good for our shareholders and in fact all stakeholders.
But critically, you're telling me you've paid a good and a fair price for it. But does it include the tangibles such as mining licenses? Do you have any?
Yes, absolutely. One thing that was very clear in our minds when we went looking for something to augment the story, we told the market often how our development plans are key. So it had to be something that we understood how quickly development could be achieved, and that means mining license, and in this case, even an environmental permit. There'll have to be some adjustments made because we've decided to subtly change the initial mining plan and move it from the existing Dunrobin mine to the Matala mine. So we will have to go back to the ministry and change the mining plan that the mining license is linked to. And again, the environmental permit needs adjustment. But we've been assured by the ministry that this is well within the license capabilities, and it's a matter of doing the work, putting in the request for change, and they've assured us that they'll be very happy to confirm that that's all okay.
Okay, but paperwork is a nightmare and it is time-consuming. So I'm wondering if that's going to impact the timelines where reopening these mines are concerned.
Look, to be completely honest, we don't know how people will handle paperwork any specific time or date. So you have to be guided by the sentiment. And I can assure you that both the regional people, there's a significant regional presence from the senior chiefs in the area who really want this mine going, from a national government that historically only has had the copper mines at play, and of course they're going through some very tough times with some of the majors cutting back on production and there being a reduction in labour force. So they want to push forward on this. So if anything, I believe will be pushed. So while I can't guarantee anything, no one ever can. Paperwork is paperwork, but we are certainly going to be putting the paperwork forward to an administration that's eager to accept it.
Okay, so you're talking about the sentiment in Zambia.